Donald Trump ha sido grabado en vivo tratando de provocar una guerra dentro de Estados Unidos. ¿Y qué crees? Te tengo los videos y las imágenes. Y por cierto, Donald Trump no niega nada de esto dentro del despacho Oval. Él dijo algo como que esto es una guerra que estamos llevando dentro de las ciudades de Estados Unidos. Y menciona Memphis, menciona Chicago, menciona Nueva York. Solo quiero que piensen por un segundo lo que este psicópata está haciendo dentro de la oficina Oval. Pero quiero que veas lo que pasó en Broadview, en Illinois. Esta es una especie de área suburbana del Gestapo de Donald Trump arroja violentamente a una candidata del Congreso que aparentemente todos la conocen. Vean el clip, por favor. Ahora en Chicago, el ICE detuvo a techadores de Chicago. Los 5 tenían documentos para vivir legalmente dentro de Estados Unidos. 2 agentes persiguieron a personas de un vecindario con armas desenfundadas. Y esta básicamente fue una casa a la que rodearon con armas. Pero lo peor de todo es que están persiguiendo a personas que legalmente pueden estar dentro de Estados Unidos y le mostraron los papeles que determinaban esto. Pero aún así al ICE no le importa esto y corre por vecindarios donde hay niños con armas desenfundadas. Estos agentes derribaron escaleras dejando a estos pobres hombres atrapados desde un tejado. Y uno de ellos resultó gravemente herido después de tener que saltar del techo. Todos estos trabajadores fueron acorralados y llevados indiscriminadamente. No hubo verificaciones. Estas redadas del ICE ocurrieron en el suburbio de Chicago. Miren el clip, por favor.
A Naperville homeowner left with an unfinished roof and in disbelief after neighbors told his family they believe ICE agents came to his house and detained crew members working on his home.
And they said all the workers were rounded up and just taken away indiscriminately. There was no checking. There was no due diligence in this.
Bobby Fisher and his family were out celebrating his daughter's birthday when neighbors alerted him to what they called police activity around his home.
Got frantic texts from my neighbors saying, "Hey, are you guys okay? There's a police presence all over your house."
Neighbors telling Bobby masked agents who they believed to be ICE arrived at his Naperville home around noon and targeted the crew working on his roof. He says 5 of the 6 crew members jumped down and ran. Bobby says one of his neighbors told him one of them injured his leg before he was detained. But what shocked Bobby the most was how agents allegedly detained another crew member who ran out of fear.
My neighbors witnessed 2 agents chasing one guy down the street in a residential area, guns drawn. A roofer running for his life.
This photo, Bobby says, was captured of that roofer after he was detained at gunpoint. Bobby later learned from the owner of the company that all 5 of the detained workers were documented.
This is just people trying to make a living, and you're harming us, like the homeowners. Like, this isn't a business. This isn't, you raided a factory. This is a home that you surrounded with guns. I have children. I don't want that here. There was no reason for it to be here.
We reached out to ICE as well as Naperville police, but have not yet received a reply.
Ahora, ya hemos hablado sobre lo que el ICE intenta lograr dentro de Chicago. Lo han llamado Midway Blitz. Esto es básicamente una invasión al estilo militar y ellos anhelan que la gente se resista porque pueden utilizar esto para luego llamar a la Guardia Nacional. Para luego decir que los habitantes están creando una insurrección. Esto es lo que están intentando hacer en las instalaciones de Broadview, en los suburbios de Chicago. Antes de continuar hablando sobre esto, te quiero mostrar un breve clip. Y esto viene desde Kentucky. Un hombre fue detenido por el ICE y este hombre necesitaba medicamentos, pues estaba a punto de tener una cirugía de emergencia, ya que este hombre lastimosamente tenía un tumor cerebral. La familia únicamente se enteró de dónde estaba cuando recibió la factura del hospital después de estar 5 días desaparecidos por culpa del ICE. Este hombre emigró hace 30 años y tiene la Green Card válida, o sea, puede estar legalmente dentro de Estados Unidos. Su nombre es Parmeet Singh. Él maneja un gran negocio en Fort Wayne, en Indiana. Y él es procedente de India, pero como te digo, llegó hace 30 años a Estados Unidos. Y a pesar de su condición médica cuasi mortal, lo tienen encerrado en una cárcel dentro de Kentucky. Miren el clip, por favor.
A man legally living here in the U.S. has been detained by Immigration and Custom Enforcement.
His name is Parmjeet Singh, and he came to the United States from India more than 30 years ago. Well, since then, his family says that he has earned permanent resident status, built a business in Fort Wayne, and had kids born in the United States. But back in July, his family says that Singh was flying back from India and detained at Chicago's O'Hare Airport.
Now, Singh's lawyer tells our NBC affiliate in Fort Wayne that ICE and Homeland Security say Singh was actually being detained because of an old case against him. And get this is what his attorney says those charges are. They say felony theft, this is hard to believe, but for not paying to use a payphone in 1999. That attorney says Singh got that charge downgraded to a misdemeanor in 2022, but Singh's family says there is more to that old case.
If that's a crime, how come you're letting the payphone to have the number go through? He will just pick up the phone and dial the number directly and it connects. We just want to know our answers. What are you guys going to do with my brother? I mean, we want him out, you know.
So Singh's lawyer says the next step is to take the case to a federal court. We know that Singh is now in a Kentucky detention center, and our reporting partners in Fort Wayne have reached out to a spokesperson for the Department of Homeland Security. Though at last check, that station is still waiting to hear back. We'll get updates as soon as we learn more.
Ahora quiero mostrarte lo que pasó cuando estos gestapos del ICE atacaron a manifestantes. Manifestantes que, por cierto, eran pacíficos. Esto pasó en el suburbio oeste de Chicago. Mira, por favor.
All day, we've been showing you images like this. Protesters squaring off with ICE agents outside their Broadview facility. Some taken away in handcuffs, and after dark, lighting off smoke bombs to fill the air with haze. It has been a chaotic situation over there for over 12 hours now. And our Jermont Terry has been monitoring it for us. He is live a safe distance away with that breaking news update now. Jermont.
Erica, there is still a decent crowd out here despite the darkness. Now, the nightfall has only escalated the tensions between the two sides because it makes it harder to see exactly what's going on in front of you. I'm going to step out of the way because you can see the gate in question where this facility is located. Every time someone crosses over onto the sidewalk, that's when you see the federal agents spray that pepper spray balls.
That dude was talking! What are you doing?
This is one of many physical fights involving federal ICE agents and demonstrators.
Let her go!
Intense exchanges at the ICE processing center in Broadview Friday. This as the two sides clashed throughout the day.
Oh my God.
And well into the night. When the sun set, protesters set off fireworks and M80s. Sending plumes of smoke into the air, making it harder for agents and protesters to see who was in front of them. ICE agents perched on rooftops have fired pepper spray balls at anyone who crossed over into the private property. Yet much of the tension escalates whenever the gate opens.
Oh, no.
At one point, this woman tried blocking one vehicle from moving. Watch as she was forcibly removed and thrown to the ground. The Department of Homeland Security says rioters assaulted law enforcement, threw tear gas cans, slashed tires of cars, blocked the entrance of the building, and trespassed. Federal law enforcement arrested 3 rioters. But CBS Skywatch captured agents arresting even more people after a larger clash came in the evening. When this SUV with ICE clearly written on the side exited, those in the crowd expressed outrage. Agents tried making them move, and then it became physical on both sides. This agent goes to the ground after someone tripped him. The agent gets up and throws that person to the curb, and those agents perched on the rooftops shoot several rounds of pepper spray balls.
They're kettling protesters right now. They're cornering them and they're shooting them.
People poured water over their eyes from the burning sensation as breathing too became unbearable. Rabbi Michael Ben Yosef also called in the middle.
It was a chaotic scene. It was a very dangerous scene.
Yet he and so many here say it's worth it to stand up for what they call democracy.
This is an attack on humanity.
And back live outside this Broadview facility, you can hear the chants, cars honking horns. Again, this crowd has not subdued, even though it's dark and it's 10 o'clock. Now, those pepper spray balls are very painful. My photojournalist, George Umbenheimer, was actually hit in the back and side when he was capturing some of the video that you just saw in that story. He told me it was a sting, almost like a bumblebee, but for the most part, he's okay. We should also point out that once ICE agents determined that they hit my photojournalist, they did offer an apology to him, but we have not seen any apologies with the tension between the two sides tonight. Reporting live in Broadview outside this facility, I'm Jermont Terry, CBS News, Chicago.
Ahora, desde Chicago hasta Washington pasó un término que no me gusta, que es la represión. Esto básicamente es la Gestapo de la ICE intimidando, golpeando, hiriendo de gravedad, amenazando a comunidades latinas dentro de Washington, D.C. Todo esto para aterrorizarlos por completo. Mira el clip, por favor.
It serves no point. It makes no one safer. I've never felt unsafe living in DC. I've lived here for 25 years. But what is unsafe is taking our neighbors off the street with no explanation and no reason.
Nobody's taking it. Can you just please just step back? Let us do our job. You're more than welcome to videotape all you want. But just please step back. But we are doing our job. You don't know what my job is, okay?
No one should be going through that, no matter if you're Black, white, Latino. It's just not something that should be happening to anyone.
Ahora en el video que te voy a mostrar, estos son los agentes del ICE rompiendo las ventanas de una camioneta de un hombre dentro de Massachusetts. Mira el clip, por favor.
His wife, Erica Ann Ben, is a U.S. citizen, and his attorneys say that he does have a pending petition to become a permanent resident, but yesterday, ICE agents arrested him, and his wife describes what ended up being a violent encounter.
My husband is the best man I know. He is not a criminal.
Edgar Hernan Elias Escobar of Malden, arrested by ICE agents. His wife, a U.S. citizen, describes how the encounter was violent.
There was blood streaming down his arm.
In the white pickup truck on his way to work, surveillance video shows Escobar being pulled over Wednesday morning before sunrise.
When I pulled up behind his truck and ran to him, men in masks approached me and kept me away. But I could see past them, and I could see the gun pointed at his face.
The video shows a struggle as agents try to pull Escobar out of the vehicle.
After they shattered the window, they tried to yank him out of the car. They grabbed him by his left arm, and his head snapped back.
Eventually, he's seen on a stretcher taken by ambulance to the hospital. Attorneys for Escobar say he has a pending petition to become a permanent resident.
And in normal times, these cases, people do not get violently seized in their car.
ICE calls Escobar an illegal alien from El Salvador, and in a statement says, during the arrest, the illegal alien refused to comply with officer commands to roll down his window. The officers took appropriate action and followed their training to use the minimum amount of force necessary to resolve the situation. Escobar is now being detained in Plymouth. Greater Boston Legal Services says this is not an isolated incident, that ICE agents are arresting people in the Boston area who have pending cases before the immigration courts. Live in Malden, Sarah Conji, WCVB News Center 5.
Dozens of arrests outside federal immigration offices in Lower Manhattan yesterday, among them 2 high-ranking city officials.
We're talking about Controller Brad Lander, Public Advocate Jumaane Williams. Neither of them are newcomers when it comes to run-ins with ICE officers.
Yesterday's protests over the conditions inside the holding facility for detained migrants. That's where we find Eyewitness News reporter Phil Tate, live for us in Lower Manhattan with the details here. Good morning, Phil. Yeah, Pedro, good morning. It's been a quiet morning outside of 26 Federal Plaza, but that wasn't the case yesterday evening, rather a chaotic scene, and that's as protesters had erupted outside of the immigration holding facility and rallying against what they say are poor conditions. Now, at this rally, there were 71 people that were arrested. 11 of them were elected officials, including Brad Lander and Jumaane Williams. Now, protesters held a sit-in on the heels of a federal judge this week requiring the government to shape up its treatment of detainees. The government building now a hotbed of arrest and detention amid President Trump's crackdown on illegal immigration. Several officials were arrested inside the building while attempting to inspect holding rooms on the 10th floor, alleging ICE is inappropriately holding people for extended periods of time and not using them as a temporary holding cell for detainees to be processed. Officials spoke out last night, saying their intentions were to give a voice to the most vulnerable.
Nobody's goal is to get arrested. The goal is to stop the vile violations of law that ICE is inflicting on our neighbors in our city.
Vulnerable communities are in danger. And in history, when we see this happening, what we know is that people who have a little bit more privilege have to do a little bit more to protect those who don't. And so I'm proud to be with some folks who said, we're going to at least do what we can do with what we have, where we are, to stop what's happening.
Homeland Security in a statement saying in part, quote, Bradlander's obsession with attacking the brave men and women of law enforcement physically and rhetorically must stop now. This type of rhetoric is contributing to the 1,000% surge in assaults of ICE officers through this repeated vilification and demonization of ICE. Now, we're told of the 71 people arrested, including those 11 elected officials, they were released. They did release summons. Important to note, at one point, this building was even on lockdown. We are live in Lower Manhattan this morning. I'm Phil Tate, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
Y como vieron anteriormente, dos de estos manifestantes eran funcionarios públicos. Ahora voy a mostrarte al miembro del Congreso, García, dentro de Illinois, denunciando a ICE y a la DHS, después de que sus agentes asesinaran a Silvio González en el Franklin Park. Mira el clip, por favor.
And it looks nothing like their tweets. Last Friday, in Franklin Park, a suburb in my district, Silverio Villegas González left his home like any other day. He was a restaurant worker. He enjoyed cooking. He was a devoted father. He never came home. ICE agents stopped him. Within minutes of dropping his kids at school, he was shot and killed in broad daylight that morning. First, they said he drove at officers. Videos show otherwise. Then they said he dragged an officer. We've yet to see the evidence. They said the officer feared for his life. But neighbors video capture gunshots, then a car coasting, Silverio already incapacitated before crashing into a semi-trailer. Those same videos show officers, including one supposedly seriously injured, smashing the window, dragging Silverio's lifeless body out and slamming him onto the pavement and handcuffing him as he bled out. Silverio didn't make it. DHS's story doesn't add up. A man is dead, a family is shattered, and the agency responsible keeps hiding behind masked thugs and unmarked cars. And I use that term because that's how so many agents are acting, either voluntarily or not. ICE and DHS have no credibility, and neither do their stories. They've lost it. Reports indicate that officers involved were not wearing body cameras. This is not law enforcement. This is becoming an American Gestapo.
Y aquí tenemos al congresista García nuevamente. Aquí está hablando de cómo la ICE básicamente está discriminando personas. Esto pasó en Elgin, pues una persona en la ciudad de Elgin a medianoche, que resultó ser un ciudadano estadounidense, terminó con su casa allanada al estilo SWAT únicamente porque estos agentes de la ICE asumieron que era una persona ilegal. Mira el clip, por favor.
In Little Village, ICE arrested William Jimenez, a day laborer, as he walked into a barber shop with his wife. William was the lead plaintiff in a lawsuit against Home Depot and local police for abuse. ICE retaliated, and we all saw the Cicero case. Children left crying on the side of an industrial road after their parents were taken away by ICE. That is state-sanctioned cruelty against children. The president especially. DHS insists they target criminal immigrants. Yet in Elgin, in the dead of night, ICE staged a reckless raid with helicopters and armored trucks parading detainees for cameras. Secretary Noem showed up for 5 seconds of fame and rushed to declare mission accomplished. Really? 2 U.S. citizens were detained, not criminals, not even immigrants.
Y bueno amigos, ahí lo tienen. Espero que este video, no voy a decir que les haya gustado porque a nadie le gusta ver este tipo de cosas. A mí se me pone la piel de puntas cuando veo esto, me da tanta impotencia. Pero es muy importante verlo porque si no sabemos esta información, ¿cómo vamos a poder contraatacar? ¿Con qué nos vamos a poder defender? Recuerda que muchas veces la mejor defensa son las pruebas. Y tener esto aquí, en internet, poder verlo cuantas veces sea, es una gran prueba, una gran demostración de que lo que está pasando en Estados Unidos es horrible. Si este tipo de videos te gusta saber lo que está pasando día tras día en Estados Unidos, te va a encantar suscribirte al canal, ya que subo videos todos los días. Mi nombre es José Alvarado, soy economista y estoy comprometido con informarte diariamente. Nos vemos en el siguiente video. Adiós.